Okay, so my name is Gabby. I haven't done one of these in a really long time, but I hope that I can start doing these more often now that I got a fancy light. The lighting in this room was really dull. Like, as you can see, the colors of the wall are super dull and gross. Yeah. I'm going to do a February wrap-up of the books that I read. Well, I didn't read them. I only read one of them. I am a big audiobook listener. Audiobooks are my thing, man. You can't like totally disregard people or tell them like that's not real reading because you didn't sit down and read. Don't be a snob. If the information gets in your brain, it's all the same, okay? There are different types of learners, so there are definitely different types of readers. So I am a nanny, so I am moving all throughout the day, and I talk to the little girl that I take care of and everything, but while she's napping or I'm cleaning stuff or whatever, I have my earphone on, just one, so I can still hear her or still hear whatever else is going on in the house. I get through the book like that. Or when I'm driving, oh my god, I love listening to audiobooks when I'm driving. Or when I shower. You don't know how many times in my youth I was so upset that I had to go take a shower in the middle of a really good part of the book, and I'm just like, why can't I just take my book into the shower? But you can't because pages get wet, and now with audiobooks, I can literally take my Bluetooth speaker and just put it on the little window in my shower, and it won't get wet, and it'll be there, and it'll be fine, and I can listen to the book, so I'm like, oh my god, no, you know? So, well, last month I read Strange the Dreamer because Brittany loved that book. Brittany is also known as Never Ending Reader on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. I read, no, I'm such a liar. I'm looking at like my January wrap up. I probably read it in December. Okay, so I read Strange the Dreamer in December. I don't know, the whole mythical element and like gods and goddesses and whatever, those were it was such a cool concept. So for February, I read Muse of Nightmares, and I really enjoyed that book. It had a lot of elements that I liked, and I don't want to give away a lot of stuff, but there was a heartbreak at the end of Strange the Dreamer, and there's still a heartbreak in Muse of Nightmares. Like, it doesn't get fixed the way I wanted it to get fixed, but it's still okay. Like, I still enjoyed it. I really liked the book. Like, it was unlike any other, I guess, book that I have read. Like, I've read the typical tropes, and this added like a god and human aspect to the fantasy world. The next one was The Wife Between Us. Now this one, I wanted to like it so much. I didn't like it as much. I did, but I didn't. I have very mixed feelings about this. Like, it's just, I expected there to be a bigger twist, but I also feel like so many books have ruined me that I'm just always expecting something. Like, I'm always expecting it, and then it happens, and I'm just like, well, I already knew that. And then there's other times where I'm just like, ooh, that got me. Like, that totally got me. I did not see it coming, and that was great. But this one, I feel like I've read too many other books similar to The Wife Between Us for me to fully appreciate it. Like, had I started with The Wife Between Us and then read other books, I would have been like, ooh, nothing can top The Wife Between Us, you know? But because I've read so many other books similar to it, I'm already over it. Like, Girl on the Train, The Cabin, The Woman in the Window, or Window, yeah, The Woman in the Window, and then like Cabin 10 or whatever the heck that book is called. All those books, they all sound the same to me, and it's frustrating me because I want to enjoy those books because I love those kind of books. But I've also like seen it, heard it, read it. I've already gone through that, and I'm just not impressed anymore. Books have ruined other books for me, but I feel like a lot of you can probably relate to that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention my hat. So this is my uniform now. I love the sweater. My friend Jess gave me the sweater, and it is so perfect. And then I got this beanie in Owl Crate, and it says "F you books." and it's my little pom-pom. So I really like it, and it's so thick and it's so warm, and oh, it's just the best beanie I've ever had. Also, I don't feel like messing with my hair, so. The third book I read was I'll Be Gone in the Dark. Now this one is by Michelle McNamara, and she passed away a few years ago. She's Patton Oswalt's wife, but above all, she is an amazing like true crime. Like she follows it and everything, and like she spent the majority of her life putting pieces of the Golden State Killer together. Like she was doing her own like investigation, and she decided to write this whole book. And sadly, she didn't get to finish writing the book, so other people that she, I guess, trusted put the book together, and with the help of her notes, they did it pretty well. I mean, I can't say that I was left unimpressed, though I am upset. They say something along the lines of her investigating didn't help bring the Golden State Killer to justice, because he was caught after like, I don't know how many years. It probably says it. I'm not good with numbers. They caught him, and this book helped. Like, I don't care if they said that it didn't help. I think it helped, because it might have made someone like look into the clues more, or look in deeper or something. It sparked something, and they caught him. They got him. So, I don't know. I am so glad that her life's work amounted to something. It's sad that she was not able to see him get caught, because she was spending like half her life trying to find this guy, or trying to like comb through evidence to see if anybody missed anything, and she died before they even caught him. So I mean, that really, really sucks. Anyways, my next book is one that I read, like a physical book. It was a really small book. I kind of just like read it while I was doing other things when I'd rather be reading. The book is called I'd Rather Be Reading. So this book doesn't really have like a storyline. It's not like a plot or anything. It's pretty much just like bookworm problems. There's literally a chapter called Bookworm Problems, and it was such a fun book. Like, she talked about how her life around books has evolved, and how each book, like, she gets to see how she's grown as a reader, and there's the bookworm problem, and it was just a fun read. It was really interesting, and I'm just like, yes, exactly, I've been saying that. And I would tell my boyfriend, I'd be like, look, didn't I just say that like last week? And he was just like, yes you did. And I'm like, I know I did. I just want you to know that I knew, like, before I read this book, I knew that my thought. And he just indulges me. It also satisfies one of my Pop Sugar challenges. So I'm trying to complete the Pop Sugar challenge. I've decided that I'm going to, if a book applies to one or two of the prompts, I'm just gonna count it. I'm gonna count them both. I'm not gonna bust my head over trying to get a book each prompt, whatever. So that book satisfies read a book about a hobby. I like reading. I'd rather be reading. That's the name of the book. The next book was Motherhood. Oh, Motherhood by Sheila Heti. Man, that book. It made me think a lot. So this book is about at the time, a 37-year-old woman who has never really felt like she wanted to be a mom. It just wasn't something that she wanted to do. Other people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to be a mom. And she was just like, I could wait. Like, I don't wanna. Which is a very real and not talked about, or maybe when it is talked about, it is like, well, like, you're not a real woman until you've had a baby. Like, no. Don't give me that shit. So if you don't want to be a mom, that's fine. It's not for you. It's not for everybody. You might be super great at it, but you're no less of a woman. Like, and that's just what the whole book was about. Like, I wrote a review, not on Goodreads, but I wrote a review on my Instagram. So like I said, I'm just starting this. My YouTube name is Gabbin Books, you know, like Gabbin books, like chit-chatting about books. That is the same as my Instagram handle. My name is Gabbin Books, Gabbin Books. If y'all want to give me more suggestions for names, I will take them because I feel like that is such a dork name. But that's all I got. That's all I came up with. So I wrote a review about it, and I read reviews about it after I finished, and people were just saying how the book was lame and it was just not well written. And yeah, I can totally see where some people are coming from. Like, it's not for everyone. It really isn't. It's just like this lady, she's fleshing out all the thoughts in her head and just spilling them out onto the paper. And I really like that, because how many times have you gone over the same damn thought and just over and over and over and over again, and that thought leads to another branch of thoughts, and then you circle back to the same thought? Like, it happens so much. And I liked it. I liked seeing someone else going through their thoughts and rationalizing things and like fleshing it out. Without giving too much away, I was sad about it, but I respect her for the way things turned out. Yeah, it made me sad too, like in my own personal life, because I am 28. I thought that I would have kids by 23. I thought that I would marry young and have kids by 25 at least, and here I am, 3 years past my original, I guess, plan, and I have not a one kid. I'm a nanny. I take care of other people's kids. That's how I satisfy my wants for kids. Whatever, whenever that day comes, or if it never comes, I have to be okay with it. And I feel like this book made me be okay with my life, or how my life is, or how it might turn out, or it just made me feel okay. The book helped. And I don't even think it was a self-help book, but it helped. The next book that I read was Marina by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. He wrote this book called Shadow of the Wind, and he's an amazing author. Like, the way that he writes, it just paints a beautiful picture, and his books are just beautiful. Like that book, Shadow of the Wind, if you haven't read that book, read that book. It was a really, really good book, and that one had a good twist. I was taken by surprise, and it was just really well written. I need to get better at reviews. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, but this book, it's about this kid, who he meets this girl, and she has a father, and I really need to get better at reviews. It was a guy and a girl, and they meet, and like things happen. Fuck my life. I literally cannot think of anything to tell you. I just really like the book. Okay, now this last book that I read 8 books. 7 books. 4, 5, 6. I read 7 books in February. This last book was All the Bright Places. Man, that book tore my heart out. Like, I had like tweeted something like, this book has my heart in its hands, and I don't know if it's gonna crush it into a million pieces, or if it's gonna release it and just let it swell with love. And it crushed it. It crushed it so well and so good, and I loved it. It made me cry, but it was so good. It was such a good cry. Yeah. It was just so nice. The book made me feel things. I mean, that's what you want a book to do, right? It was very John Green-ish. I have not read any John Green. I have seen the movie of The Fault in Our Stars, but I didn't read the book. And I think I did read one book, actually. Paper Towns? I think, is that him? Let me see. Paper Towns. It is John Green. I think I read that book. But you know, it's a teen book, And if you love that sort of thing, read it. It was really, really good, and it talked about some very important things that happen, mental health and like death. So I mean, trigger warning: suicide, deaths, mental health stuff, depression, anxiety, bipolar. It was all in there. But it was a very, very good book, and I loved reading it so much. I think that's it. I don't know what else to say. Those are the books that I read. Like I said, I'm sorry for my crappy reviews, but I hope I will evolve as a booktuber and be able to formulate my words a lot better and be a little bit more articulate and summarize books without giving too much away. So just be patient with me. I am learning. I am always learning. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please don't be mean in the comments, and the YouTube spiel, like, subscribe, whatever. If you want, you don't have to. I'm not for everybody, so I've been told. But yeah, bye.